How we doing? How we looking? How we feeling? Ladies and gentlemen, say what's up if you are in the chat here. As always, grading your Dynasty teams. Our like goal today is 50 likes. I'm pretty sure we can get there by the end of this stream. So as you trickle in, make sure you drop a like. And we appreciate each and every one of you. We're going to be grading your Dynasty teams. And if you want your Dynasty teams reviewed and somehow say, hey, I like what these guys are doing here, Zach and Badaki, I like how they grade their Dynasty teams. All you have to do is sign up at flockfantasy.com. Use our promo code LAND. Select the Mother Flocker tier. Make sure you tick that skip free trial because we can get you expedited into the front of the, not the front, but I guess in queue immediately instead of waiting the 7 days until you will have to wait for getting that Dynasty team reviewed here. But we appreciate each and every one of you. Once again, use our promo code LAND. And not only do you get your Dynasty team reviewed, as you're going to be seeing here today, but you get so much more. The 2024 Rookie Report, our Dynasty Trade Show, a fantasy hotline that we like to call, it's basically a personal DM with Zach and myself. But I appreciate each and every one of you. Once again, make sure you say what's up as you trickle into the chat here. And let me just bring up this chat. Actually, I don't have it up at the moment. We are going to be grading 3 Dynasty teams today. Here we go. And all right, that should be up here. I already see Crime Lord. He said, let's go Paces. I mean, team build and review. Hey, please not the Paces. Please not the Paces. I beg of you, not the Paces. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I know Dallas won yesterday, Mavericks. And the pace, what's on this game start? This game should already have started, Boston and Celtics here. But once again, say what's up if you are in the chat here. Texas Cajuns here. Say, yes, sir. So I live in Indiana. Got a root for my boys. Crime Lord said, I get that. I get that. You know, I got a root. It's like me. I live in New York, or I don't live in New York, but I'm from New York and I support any New York team. I'll be honest with you. I mean, if the Jets were to go to the Super Bowl, I'll support them because they're purely a New York team, right? If the Yankees or Mets went to the World Series, I mean, I'm a Yankees fan, even though I don't really follow baseball that much, but I grew up watching the Yankees in my family. If the Yankees or the Mets went to the World Series, I'm supporting them. I don't care if it's hockey, whatever team the New York has, I'm supporting. Now I am a diehard Giants fan specifically, but every other team I'm happy to support because I'm from New York. It says about to start. What's happening? Dan is saying here. Texan says, isn't it the same in Texas? Maybe. Cowboys fan will never cheer on Texas fans. Yeah. And look, I would say like diehard like Mets fans and Yankees fans would never do that either. And you have to remember like the Brooklyn Nets were from Jersey back in the day, like the New Jersey Nets. They weren't in Brooklyn. So the Knicks are like the OG team, if you were to think about it, and the Nets are just like it's cool because they're in Brooklyn. It's in the Barclays Center, literally in Brooklyn, which is exciting. So definitely a couple different ways you can look at it and for these other teams here. But once again, grading your Dynasty teams, appreciate each and every one of you. As people trickle in, like I said, make sure you drop a like as you come in. Our like goal is 50 likes. So we appreciate each and every one of you here. And let's go straight into it. And I bring up this context for this first team here, and then I'll make sure I change this for the roster submission. Bringing 3 Dynasty teams here today, and the first one is Dino. Shout out to Dino. We just signed up to the Flock Fantasy website, once again using our promo code LAND. But yeah, shout out to Dino here. We appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for the support. He says 1 quarterback PPR non-tight end premium. It's not lame. It's just not what we prefer. I used to play 1 quarterback when I first started in Dynasty or in fantasy football. And then obviously the game evolves, right? It says, I understand I may have a crazy team on paper, but I only have 1 returning player from the starting lineup in my league, which is Bijan. He said, my strategy last year was to accumulate as many draft picks for the 2024, 25, 26 and see if I can ship them into the offseason for better players. I ended up trading over 20 times in the offseason to acquire this team. I am still working on trading away a few picks to get young, high-end players if I even need them. I would love feedback on what my moves should be and if I should move on from one of the top 4 picks and more of another solidified player. Okay, also have no 26 and 27 first of now, but I can always change. Here is my draft strategy as of now for the picks, and I have things falling should. Okay, this is the draft strategy. Not saying this is what actually happened, but you do have a lot of picks. 2025 picks I have will most likely be a top 3 pick unless something astronomically bad happens in the league. Okay, once again, Dino, if you're here with us, I know you submitted, I'm pretty sure you did submit on the Flock Fantasy website as well. But I do believe it's the same team. And as you see here, this is the Flock Fantasy website, guys. We are still waiting and transitioning. Here's Dino's team. Let me just double check that this is the same team here, because we're going to be reviewing this one. I think it is, because I see that code is the same. Yeah, Stan Ross fan club. And I'm pretty sure he said here Stan Ross fan club. Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's the same team. We're going to be transitioning here soon. Just once again, still waiting on some things to get ironed out there. So it is a start 7. 1 quarterback, 12 team one quarterback, 12 team league. So I'm assuming, let's just put that start 7. This is a start 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end. What's that? 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1 flex, right? And 1 flex spot. So a very short league, which is okay. And that's what he was talking about, having these foundational pieces that he was kind of going into and talking about here, which I think is pretty crucial, especially when we think of this team. But if you look at this team, it is absolutely stacked. Patrick Mahomes, Justin Fields, you have one of the best quarterbacks in a 1 quarterback league. Running backs is Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs, Christian McCaffrey. You have top 5 dynasty running backs in the community right now. Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Michael Pittman Jr., Treylon Burks. So this is probably your weakest room, is your wide receiver room, oddly enough, and you can start up to 3 wide receivers. And that's crazy to say, because your 3rd wide receiver here is Michael Pittman. And I don't even think you have to do anything else. And then obviously the tight ends is Kyle Pitts. And Travis Kelce. Okay. I definitely like that. So let's just have a look here. Let me just bring up this whiteboard and make sure I have this all set up here when it does come down to this, because I want to make sure that I'm bringing the right information for you as we get it all set up. Okay. Stick and pick as always with all these draft capital here. And he did kind of already paint this picture on where he was thinking about going when it does come down to these picks. So 101, let's just organize this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 201, and the 203. And he, once again, he really kind of painted this picture here. Let's just copy this as well. And what we can do is write it on our own. So at the 101, he's saying Marvin Harrison Jr. At the 102, he's saying Neighbors. At the 103, he's saying Caleb Williams. At the 104, this is 1 quarterback, remember, at the 104, Rome Odunze. At the 108, he was saying Brooks, or Brooks Benson, or Ladd, he also said. At the 201, am I tripping? Who's JJ? Oh, JJ McCarthy. I don't know why I just blanked there. JJ McCarthy. This is what his thought process was when it came down to using these picks in this one quarterback league. And then obviously he says Leggett, Benson, or Corm. He also has a 211, which I don't see here, which I'm assuming you potentially traded away for something. So I'm not gonna utilize that. So these are the picks that he was kind of mentioning so far for this league, and his scenario here. I had to take a little sip there. My throat's hurting, y'all. It's getting cold in Australia. You ever get like turn on the heat in the room and it's nice and toasty, and then you walk outside and it's like that cold ass air? I mean, I know because it's like New York, right? Like New York, you used to stay cold. You got to protect your neck. Anyways, that's how I feel. So this is your scenario here, Dino. And let me just put this. Dino's thoughts. I'll put Dino's thoughts, right? I don't mind this, especially with this team. And I do agree on getting another quarterback here, because Justin Fields is probably not the long-term answer for your team. And I know it's a one quarterback league, and maybe just trying to get that security here, it will be really exciting. But let's be honest. Everyone here is young. Your oldest player on this team is probably Odell Beckham, or maybe Travis Kelce is probably the oldest player on this team. Everyone is significantly young. And here's Dean. Hey, he said, hey, this is my team. It took a lot of moving to get half of these dudes. He said, my league got a little annoyed by me always trading, but someone has to do it. And that's amazing. I was just saying this team is phenomenal here, and we were kind of breaking it down. And glad that you are with us here. We're kind of breaking it down and what this looks like. And this was your thought process. This is what you were thinking about doing. And let me just say this. I'm happy with this route. I don't mind where you're going here, but maybe what we can do is potentially consolidate it and maybe change things around a little bit, especially in a one quarterback league. I'm going to give you my thought process on what I would potentially be doing. Badaki's thoughts, right? And Dino, I'll send you this on the fantasy hotline as well. I do agree. Marvin Harrison Jr. and Malik Neighbors, 1,000% should easily go at the 101 and the 102. I think that's 100% going to solidify this team to the next level. Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Malik Neighbors, and Malik Neighbors and Marvin Harrison Jr. Now at the 103, I wouldn't necessarily go Caleb Williams, right? I would actually be going a quarterback late. And you kind of mentioned that here already with JJ McCarthy. I would go Rome Odunze here. Like, I mean, it doesn't really matter where you take him. And at the 104, I'm really interested in Brock Bowers. Because you do have Travis Kelce. I know Travis Kelce signed that 2-year contract extension. And Kyle Pitts, who I'm going to be bringing a video on here very soon. I have two really good videos coming out for you guys regarding players that are going to be breaking out and players that you should be avoiding in 2024. So definitely keep that in mind as those videos are coming out sometime this weekend. But Kyle Pitts is somebody that I do bring in one of those videos, and I am okay for you to keep because of the potential of what we could be seeing with Kyle Pitts here. But if that doesn't work out, Brock Bowers could easily be the new way to go. And at the 108 in a one quarterback league, and let me just bring up my one quarterback rankings here. I don't have that up here currently. And if you want to get our rankings here, all you have to do once again is sign up at the Flock Fantasy website. And I'll stop saying that because I know that can definitely get annoying. But hey, that's what we do. That's what we do. At the 108, currently my rankings, which I should probably definitely update, which I haven't updated my one quarterback rankings. I have Trey Benson, Jonathan Brooks in that area. I also have someone like an Xavier Worthy who's going at the 106 currently in a one quarterback. So I would say getting a running back here at the 108 is definitely in play. The way I have my rankings is Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, Rome Odunze, Brian Thomas Jr. at the 104, Lam McConkey at the 105, Xavier Worthy at the 106. So you have those top 4 players here. I'm okay to pass up on someone like a Brian Thomas Jr. because you're receiving, or not receiving, but you're getting all 3 of these top tier wide receivers in this league here. And then getting Brock Bowers, I personally believe, is going to help you solidify that tight end room just in case. At the 108, I still want to get someone like a Brooks, Benson, or I don't even think Ladd is going to be there. I think Brooks or Benson, I'm happy to go out and get. Now, I would say this. Since I'm really comfortable with your running back room, you have 3 solidified running backs here that you really don't have to pivot off of. Maybe don't get Jonathan, maybe don't get Brooks. And I think this is where Caleb is in play if he's available. Now, I doubt he will be, but my biggest thing is that I want to lock in Rome Odunze and Brock Bowers. And if Caleb Williams is not there, I'm happy to pivot. Let me just take out Brooks and Benson. I'm happy to pivot to Caleb, to any of these quarterbacks. Caleb, Daniels, May, and JJ, right? Genuinely, I'm really happy to pivot to any one of those guys. And then you take best player available at the 201 to get some extra depth, or at the 203. This is one scenario. This is scenario 1 here, Dean, that I think is really exciting for you. And ideally, Caleb Williams would be phenomenal here. So imagine this team, right? You have Patrick Mahomes with Caleb Williams. You have your wide receiver room, your running back room that is already solidified, right? You have your wide receiver room with Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Marvin Harrison Jr.'s, Malik Neighbors, and Rome Odunze there on the bench. And then you also receive Brock Bowers as well. That is a prime start to your team. Not only is you literally have some of the best players in this draft, but also have the foundation of your future once some of these guys potentially fall off, maybe like a Travis Kelce, maybe like a Christian McCaffrey. Well, Christian McCaffrey, I think you're already solidified, right? So that's how I would do that. Now, I would say this. I'm trying to think in a one quarterback, how much value can I potentially get? Because at the 103, if somebody is really there for Rome Odunze and really wants Rome Odunze, what can I get for that 103? And in a one quarterback league, I'm pretty sure that is, and we're going to go on Flock Fantasy website and on Keep Trade Cut here, and let's look at this trade calculator. Non-tight end premium, 12 team, star, 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 1 flex. Because I really want to see what this looks like. The first person that came to mind is Puka. I think in a one quarterback, Puka would be a bit too much. But what about Garrett Wilson maybe? Garrett Wilson seems really exciting here in the fantasy community. Says you slightly win, and I like that trade. I want an established wide receiver over someone like a Rome. I mean, we love Rome Odunze. Let's be honest. We love Rome Odunze, but can I get somebody established already? Right? So let's just say 103 for Puka in a non-SuperFlex. Let's see what Keep Trade Cut says. Okay, I'm not sure why it's not working. Let's refresh this. 103. Did my keyboard just go kaputs? Yeah, my keyboard just went kaputs. You love to see it. Give me a second, guys. Where's my keyboard charger? I actually don't even know where that's at. Oh, here we go. Here's the plugin. Technical difficulties. And that's okay. All right, 103. Let's just see what this says on Keep Trade Cut. Okay, that makes sense. So Garrett Wilson is still very a slight win. Let's try AJ Brown. Amon-Ra St. Brown is also interesting. And I think these are all starting points, right? Starting points to where if you can see what you can potentially get here. Can you send the 103 and maybe be okay sending the 201 in the 203 in this trade as well? Look at that. I'll do that every single day for Amon-Ra St. Brown. So Amon-Ra St. Brown, especially the one quarterback, plus the 201. Once again, this is a starting point here, Dean. This is something that you can potentially get done in your league. And I know that you say like a lot of people are annoyed, but let's see where Amon-Ra is at currently right now. Garrett Wilson, that's an interesting trade there. We kind of talked about that. AJ Brown, Drake London. And let's see what that let's see what that Garrett Wilson guy. He has a 106, so maybe he would like to tier up. Right? Brandon Ayuk, Jaden Reed. Where's Amon-Ra here? Where are you, brother? Here we go. Amon-Ra St. Brown. This guy doesn't have a first-round pick. This is phenomenal. Get Amon-Ra St. Brown. Hey, give me Rome Odunze. You want to go get some? I don't know. And he gives him depth in this league as well, or not another pick at the 201, where he might potentially get another running back here. I think this is a great trade here for you. Enjoy it here, Dean. Now, once again, we like to say this is the starting point, so anything can happen. You know your league the best, but I'm trying to get these heavy hitter wide receivers here. Amon-Ra St. Brown. Let's see what AJ Brown says again with this trade. AJ Brown is a little bit too much. Who was Let's look at the fantasy community and see where they rank some of these guys. CeeDee Lamb, Marvin Harrison Jr. You see Puka Nacua there. I personally think you can get Puka Nacua done. And if not, once again, actually, let's do this. If not, send this for Puka. 103 for Garrett Wilson, 201. And then look, once again, starting points. But this is what I would personally be doing, trying to use that 103 to my advantage, because you're already getting the wide receiver 1 and the wide receiver 1B in this draft, and sending that 103 for value, and making sure that player is going to take Rome Odunze, because if that player trades up and at the 103 and then takes Brock Bowers, that's a little bit annoying, but hey, you still get Rome Odunze as well in that if they do swindle you somehow in some way. But this is probably the best way and the best process that I will be going about this team here. But this is a phenomenal team. Let me see. I need to 99. So you're definitely Thanos here. Josh Allen, Travis Etienne, Pacheco, CD Olave. How's that CeeDee Lamb owner? I mean, I'm actually willing to do the 101. I'll do this 101 plus the 201 plus the 203 for CD. Look, once again, I doubt that's probably going to happen. But let's just see what that looks like in this community. It actually says you're overpaying. Dean says, it says they oversold during the season last year for rookies. I ended up trading a lot of dudes for multiple firsts in the future, and I was going to turn that down, send 3 to 4 picks and players per trade for JJ and JC. Okay, Justin Jefferson and Jamar. Give me a second. Let me just get your chat up here. Making sure that everyone can see. What's going on here? I don't know why that's not working. Oh, there we go. There we go. I was wondering why that wasn't working. Right, okay. He says, I love Amon-Ra St. Brown, but they're all diehard Lions fan. They're diehard Lions fan that tried for him before Chase. Right, okay. He said the city owner's returning champion. I would have to sell a lot for him. Hey, I would say this is a good amount. 103 and the 201. And if he doesn't want that, maybe be okay sending that 108. right? Or this is another scenario. This is what I'll be okay doing, because let me know, Dean. Let me know if you believe that one of these quarterbacks, Caleb, Daniels, May, or JJ, could potentially fall to you at the 201. Now, I would even say I would be okay if that's Bo Nix. I'll be honest with you. To get CeeDee Lamb here, and you still have these pillar foundational pieces, I'm happy to take someone like maybe in one quarterback is not. So JJ will fall at the 201. This is perfect. Try the 101 and the 108 and sell it. Like, look, this is a top player here at the 108. That can be Brian Thomas Jr., Rome Dunze. So I don't take Caleb. He will get picked in the 6th. Okay. So Caleb Williams is gone at the 106. I don't know who has the 107. Like I said, a lot of these people may not even reach for quarterbacks here. And if there is 106, I'm assuming that 106 is a team that potentially needs a quarterback. He has Jalen Hurts, so he wants to get some depth there at the 106, right? So 110, Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence. Is he going to take another quarterback? Your team 4 and 7 has Lamar and Jordan. Yeah, you see? 7. What about team 11 here? 111, Bryce Young, Deshaun Watson, Russell Wilson. So he can take another quarterback if he's not happy. So let's just say that is that's Caleb Williams, JJ McCarthy, or Caleb Williams, Drake May off the board at the 111, and he has the 112, which I doubt he's going to go back to back. So yes, I do believe there's opportunity for you to get any one of these quarterbacks here. This is a great trade. If you can somehow get that done, look, that's how big CeeDee Lamb is. This is how big CeeDee Lamb is here. I'm willing to do this trade in hopes and knowing that I'm going to be getting a quarterback here at the 201. And if he says I want the 201, you have to hope and believe. I mean, I'm also still willing to do that for CeeDee Lamb in the one quarterback league. I'm really hoping, and let's just say like a 201. Okay to give up either seconds, not both at the same time, but either seconds, right? And it's going to put him, and if he's a big trade calculator guy, I guarantee you this is already going to say this is enough for CeeDee Lamb. So if he's a big trade calculator guy and just be like, hey, I'm already overpaying, send him a screenshot of this. This is keep trade cut. Say I'm already overpaying. Now our calculator is going to look different because we think we have the best calculator on the market, and we just think that it's going, like the way our math and our projections go for some of these players are a little bit different compared to what keep trade cut does. So let's just see what that looks like. 101 and the 108. You're slightly robbing them. See? So now if we add the 20, which we don't have second rounds like that. So if we just put an early 24 for 4th or 2nd, you're robbing them still. So once again, he says I have to reach out to the owners, but I know he already had an issue with me trading so much, and that's okay. Reach out, maybe wait a little bit. Just wait a little bit. I don't know when your draft is. Wait a little bit, or maybe send that trade to him during the draft, like right before, you take your time, like, hey, well, you want Marvin Harrison Jr.? Because think about it. This is going to be CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb, right? So you have CeeDee Lamb, Malik Neighbors, Rome Odunze, Brock Bowers. I mean, that's it. Drafters are in preseason. They want to see how rosters pan out. Okay. And the hype is potentially going to be around Marvin Harrison Jr. and how amazing he is with Kyler Murray and how him and Kyler Murray had the best connection. So might even be a perfect time. Okay. And obviously, you're going to have your typical conversations with CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott. It's going to be your typical, these guys are doing their own thing. They're being as successful. Man, I think this is it. I'm going to send this. Let me know if you have any other questions or any other scenarios you would like me to take you through. But I think this is perfect. This is a perfect pathway for you. This is an amazing team as well, Dean. Oh, talking a lot here, talking fast. Guys, as we're waiting for Dean here, can we get to 50 likes? We got 11 likes right now, 30 people watching. I doubt we can get to 50 likes, but can we at least get to 30? I think that would be awesome here. No, I know these Dynasty team reviews are a little bit more intimate, a little bit more compact here. But if you like what you're seeing here and you want to be a part of this and saying, you know what, I like what these guys are doing, all you have to do is sign up at flockfantasy.com. Use our promo code LAND. Not only do you get 30% off, but you get a Dynasty team review like you see Dean getting here currently right now. And you get so much more. The 2024 Rookie Report, our personal DM to myself and you, Zach and myself, and your personal DM with Zach and myself. How about I'll say that? That's better. And so much more. So definitely keep that in mind. But we appreciate each and every one of you. And make sure you tick that skip free trial, because if not, you will have to wait the 7 days and then we can review your team. And if you do skip free trial, we can normally get you in on the same week or the next couple of days. So keep that in mind there. But we appreciate each and every one of you. Dean says, as I'm transitioning back, he says, do you think flipping Pittman instead could be viable? I'm not huge on him, but I know he is consistent. Even Chase can be more viable if I can get a major haul. I just really like knowing I'm getting Marvin Harrison Jr. Yeah, and that's a good process there. A good question. What can we get for Pittman? And maybe Pittman and the 108 for that CeeDee Lamb owner. I think it's also pretty acceptable. I would do that. And let's see what the community thinks. CeeDee Lamb. And Pittman. Okay, I mean, if not, once again, can you do that 203? Send that over that. You have to remember, CeeDee Lamb is the #1 Dynasty wide receiver in the community. So I'm happy to do something like this. And this may be a big stretch because you're still getting Marvin Harrison Jr. like you said. So if you don't want to give Marvin Harrison Jr., maybe you're getting a solidified wide receiver and he likes Michael Pittman, and then move on from there here, right? Let me just move that out of the way for you. I just realized. I like this. Maybe if it's not for CeeDee Lamb, let me undo this. Pittman, because I'm not a huge Pittman fan either, but I'm really happy to pivot off of Michael Pittman, currently in the community, wide receiver 18. I love the idea of pivoting to Nico Collins, Tank Dell, and a lot of people don't like this, but once again, this will be in a video here very soon. When it does come down to, you know, I don't want to give out too much because I think once I say something, it's just gonna, it kind of defeats the whole purpose of how I'm preparing that video. Nico Collins, Tank Dell. I would even do something along the lines of like Pittman plus maybe that 201 or the 203 for Ayuk. Ayuk. I would even say in a 1 quarterback league, what about Tyreek Hill? I think he's win now, feels really comfortable. I do believe you would have to give up the 203 to get Tyreek Hill, because he's not as valuable. As Pittman. He actually might be higher. I might be lying about that, but yes, Michael Pittman is not as valuable, based on what I'm trying to say. Send that 203 over. I'm happy to get Tyreek Hill. I mean, he easily would have finished wide receiver 1 this past year if he didn't miss those first couple games, or just miss those games this past year. So I'm happy to do something along these lines. I'm trying to think of some other names that I can offer you here. I don't want to get a Waddle. Addis. I think these are some players. I'm really big believers in Nico Collins and Tank Dell. So if you don't like those guys, I understand. But I think them pairing up with CJ Stroud, Stephon Diggs is not a huge concern for me, especially on that 1-year contract. Long term, I think that's fine. But if I were to get somebody here, I think you can potentially get, Pittman plus for Tank Dell plus something. Now, what is that? Let's have a look. Who has Tank Dell? This guy has Nico Collins, and that might be a pick. That might just be an extra pick, right? Like it may not be something extravagant, but once again, you want heavy hitters here. So it's either you giving up more to trade up to get a heavy hitter type of player, or you're kind of just tearing down and getting more value, which I guess if you really think about it, doesn't necessarily make sense. So like this Tank Dell move doesn't make sense whatsoever. He says, I got rid of Tank and 2 firsts for JJ. Okay, so then Tank doesn't make sense in this scenario here. And I would say this doesn't make sense either. So I would say getting Ayuk, Tyreek Hill, trading up to one of those guys feels pretty comfortable. Feels pretty comfortable to me when we really think about some of these players that you can potentially get here. Once again, you want to stay in that top, like those top 10 type of players, especially in a short league. Remember, it's the start 7. So I feel pretty confident here. But hey, Dean, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for supporting. Because I love Collins too. Diggs just scares me a bit because he's a bit of a crybaby when he comes onto the ball. And I think Diggs needs to understand, like, he's not the focal point anymore of that offense. Yeah, he's a big name, but he's not the focal point. I think that's what Joe Brady wanted to do here when it did come down to Diggs in the second half of the season. If you think of Diggs in the second half of the season, he wasn't amazing. And he was upset because he wasn't getting the ball. But what was happening? They were winning because they started to spread the ball around and they weren't just one-dimensional with Stephon Diggs. And that's kind of what, I guess that's my thought process there when it does come down to Stephon Diggs and those guys there. Dean, thank you so much. I'm going to send you this on the fantasy hotline. Okay, I'm going to send you this whiteboard on the fantasy hotline just so you have some references. I'll send you my thoughts because you already know your thoughts and your scenarios of what you would be doing there. But hey, once again, appreciate you. Thank you so much. It's been awesome. This team is amazing. All right, that's sent to you right there. And once again, guys, if you want to be a part of this, all you have to do is sign up at, I opened up Illustrator. Sign up at flogfantasy.com/land. That's how you can get this team review that you're seeing right here, right now. And it's pinned in the chat here. As you can see, pinned in the chat. I'll even put it in the chat again one more time for you guys so you guys can see. Go to flogfantasy.com. Best way to support what we're doing here. Not only do you get what you see here, but you get so much more when you do sign up here. Make sure you select the Mother Flocker tier. You select that tick button and we'll go on from there. Thank you so much, Dino. And Dino, make sure you use your fantasy hotline. Where I just sent that message, by the way, or Dean, where I just sent that message is where you can send questions, trade offers, screenshots at any point in time that you want. You just let us know. We'll try to respond to you as soon as possible. Remember the time change, but send screenshots, send any trade offers that you do get. So make sure you definitely take advantage of that fantasy hotline as you are supporting us, man. We really appreciate you. The next guy up is the Law Boy. I know the Law Boy just signed up. Thank you so much for supporting. You have a lot of context here. I keep saying contacts. I have a lot of context here. Let me know if you are in the chat, the Law Boy, as I'll get this set up here for you. No worries, Dean. Don't be concerned. If you can send a message at any time. Honestly, just know that if we don't respond right away, it's probably in the middle of the night. And honestly, I normally have my phone on Do Not Disturb, and I wake up, and we're just used to it. So people send us 3 to 4 or 5, a lot of messages being, I need this answer right away. Let me know, and that's okay. We just be like, look, it's overnight. We told you the rules, and we're not going to answer after a certain time and on the days that we're off. But we'll definitely still be looking out for those messages. But thank you so much for that, man. That's awesome. All right, going to the next one, the Law Boy. 2 quarterback SuperFlex, half PPR, non-tight end premium, 12 teams. He has the starters here. Let's put that in the chat. So 2 quarterbacks. Let me just put this in the chat. 2 quarterbacks, 2 running backs, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 2 flex spots, and that looks like it's a start 10. So 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Why am I counting that wrong? He said start 10. 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 9. Am I tripping? Am I reading that wrong, guys? Correct me if I'm wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I am counting that wrong. I think 2, 4. That's 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, yep. Brain fart. Draft picks 2027 third. Will be early. Players, if I screenshot not working, no worries. What is the, I can see the players here. Context, here we go. I have a competitive team last season, but injuries got the best of me. Started to just kind of try to get better picks. Got the 102, trade up to the 101 to grab Caleb. Picked up a ton of rookies. To reset and throw more darts. Mortgaged my entire future, trading away picks to lend big talent potential like Jamar Chase, Neighbors, Jacobs, Penix, etc. Have a lot of trade offers of Puka, Neighbors, Jacobs, and Franklin. Okay, that's going to be interesting. Some examples of offers I've gotten. Jacobs for a 25-second and a 26-second, likely mid to late. I would personally be keeping Jacobs there. I would say without looking at your team, I would be keeping Jacobs, but maybe there's other things I would be interested. Puka and Jacobs for Monty Olave 26 first or 25 set. Maybe it's best to look at your team first before I look at it to see if those trades are worth it. That's what I would say. Let me Lisbon now, kid. You love to see it. All right, here. Let's look at this team first and then let's go through it here. Josh Allen, Caleb Williams, Marvin Harrison Jr. Josh Allen, Caleb Williams, Michael Penix Jr. I think this is a phenomenal wide receiver quarterback room. Gosh, this is a phenomenal quarterback room. Michael Penix is a future play, and I think that's fine to go ahead and put him on your taxi and see what happens here. At the running back position, Jahmyr Gibbs, Josh Jacobs, Kamani Vidal, Ray Davis, and you have a lot of rookies here. And looking at that Josh Jacobs trade is probably best to keep him, especially if you're potentially going to be competing here. Remember, this is a start 10. So at the moment, Josh Jacobs is your only starting running or your suitable RB2 on this team here. At the wide receiver position, you can start up to 5 wide receivers. Jamar Chase, Puka Nacua, Malik Neighbors, Rashee Rice, Ricky Pearsall, Troy Franklin, Malachi Corley. So you have at least 5 starting wide receivers, whether that's Ricky that's going to be playing, Troy Franklin, or Malachi Corley. Now, what is that fantasy production that they're going to be experiencing? I'm not necessarily sure. So that's interesting. And the Dalton Kincaid, who I absolutely love this year, I'm going to say it now, and I'm probably going to say it more in other live streams, in other videos. Dalton Kincaid is going to be my guy this year. He's 1,000% going to be my guy, somebody that I truly believe that's going to have a massive breakout season. And, you know, I think a lot of people believe in Keon Coleman. I believe in Dalton Kincaid and his talent and that draft capital and the way he's going to be utilized in that tight end position for the Buffalo Bills. So I'm really excited about Dalton Kincaid. Let's go back to these trade offers here. Now that we have Jacobs for 25 first, a second, and a 26 second. And maybe one more thing before I do kind of go through is look at these teams that you could potentially be competing with. Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Jonathan Taylor, Monty, Olave, Rome, Moore, Zay, Adonai. Okay, I mean, it's not the heaviest team. CJ Love, Derek, Bijan, Jonathan Brooks, CD, Stephon, Rome. Okay, his wide receivers aren't great either. Young Guns. He has better wide receivers, but not the strongest quarterback there. Okay, so looks like a fairly balanced league outside of this guy. The top three teams, top two teams that are ahead of you don't have crazy heavy hitters. Like this guy has CeeDee Lamb, but like it's really falls off after CeeDee Lamb. This guy has Olave, Roman Jr., and DJ Moore. Like his top four wide receivers didn't fall off there. So it's definitely interesting. I know you probably want to consolidate some of these players to get picks, but let's see. Puka and Jacobs for Monty, Olave in the 26 first, 25 second, and the 25 third, likely to mid late on all. Yeah, because these guys are competing. I personally still want to keep Puka in that scenario. Getting a 26 first is exciting, but that's 2 years away, and then by that time it's like, man, Troy Franklin for Demario Douglas in a 25 second, likely early, or 2 seconds. Same 25 and 26 likely later. I'm keeping it. Puka and Josh Allen for Patrick Mahomes, Olave, and DJ Moore. This one's interesting. Josh Allen, you pretty much, it's an even flip for Josh Allen and Patty. Olave and DJ Moore, I would say, is a fairly even for Puka. So that's an interesting trade. Am I jumping to that right away? Absolutely not. Puka and Caleb for Burrow, Olave, or DJ Moore. Oh, so it's Patrick Mahomes and Olave. I thought we were getting both of them. So no, I'm not doing that. I'm keeping Puka and Josh Allen. Puka and Caleb for Burrow, Olave, or DJ Moore. Some picks likely not super great, but at least 126 first. If you can get a 26 first or 25 first, I might be interested in the Burrow Olave. I have Burrow higher in my rankings than Caleb, and Olave is definitely a tier down from Puka, but getting that 25 or 6 first is definitely something I'll be interested in. Puka, Josh Jacobs, Vidal for Saquon, Addison, worthy of 20. No. And what, a 27 mid first, a late first? No, thank you. I'm keeping my players here. And look, there's not really much we can really do here, the law boy. I mean, if you really think about it, you're asking if I have a competitive team last year, but injuries got the best of me. You're starting to just kind of get a better, just trying to get a better pick. So if you're here with us, the law boy, and if not, definitely use this fantasy hotline. What's really difficult is not knowing what you're wanting to do. Are you wanting to rebuild and get these picks back, or are you trying to compete? Because I do believe you have a competing team. The only problem with this competing team is the depth at these positions, and if this team is ready to compete this year or potentially next year, and where that's going to go. Because we had to. At the running back position, you can't compete. But if Josh Jacobs is going to miss time, who's filling in for him? You have nobody. Right? Will Shipley, Ray Davis, Kamani Vidal. I mean, if these guys do take off, that's good. But I'm not trying to send 2 future seconds or receive 2 future seconds for Josh Jacobs. I'm not. You got Jamar Chase, Puka, Malik Neighbors, Rashee Rice, Ricky Pearsall, Troy Franklin. Now, I think if you are willing to sell these guys and get capital in the future, I would say this. These are the 3 guys in season. If they have a decent season, I'm willing to trade away. If somehow Brandon Ayuk gets traded away, if Brandon Ayuk gets traded away, I'm happy to hold on Ricky Pearsall. But if Brandon Ayuk doesn't get traded away, but Ricky Pearsall somehow has a role and he's still a first round value for you, see if we can get a 25 first. And I'll be honest with you, little boy, getting 27 first round picks, I'm not saying it's pointless, but like, it's still not going to help your team for another 2 years, really 3 years. If we have to go through this year and then the next 2 years, right? You have to go through another 3 seasons for you to even use those 24 picks. So you might as well stick here with this team and sell in season for players. And this is what I'll put here. Sell in season. Selling season for picks. Put future picks. Right. And if these guys are popping off, that's good. Josh Jacobs. I'm happy to sell and pivot off of. Who else was there? I want to keep Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm happy to see what I can get for Puka. Now, do I want to trade him away? No. Happy needs to be a haul, an absolute haul, if I want to trade away Puka. And I would even say the same thing for Chase. Needs to be a haul. Like, it has to be, okay, this is really going to help my team in the future, and I still get young assets, right? See, it needs to be a haul for Puka and Chase. What else do we have here? I'm keeping Dalton Kincaid. I'm keeping Malik Neighbors. I would say Rice. Rice is somebody I'm interested in trading away at the right time, because I know right now his value is nowhere where it needs to be. If value bounces back. Highest point in season. I'm putting notes for all these players for you, just so you know. Right, I'm keeping Malik Neighbors, and then the rest, you know, like same thing with Troy. Highest point in season. Highest point in the season. Let's just put this here. Troy Franklin, and Ricky Pearsall. And just, I'll also say / happy to hold. Okay? Doesn't have to be over. You don't have to overthink this. But for me, you have to also recognize that having these rookie players probably is not going to get you into that competing door, because you have to understand, Caleb Williams, to bring you to the playoffs, has to have a CJ Stroud type of rookie year, unless he just has a decent floor every single year. Jahmyr Gibbs and Josh Jacobs has to stay healthy throughout the whole season, right? Malik Neighbors has to take off, which we believe in. Rashee Rice has to come back and not get suspended, which at the moment looks like he's going to be suspended for 6 games. And what's going to happen with Xavier Worthy now? There's more mouths to feed there. Ricky Pearsall, is he going to be ready? Or is Brandon, are you going to get traded? Or is he even going to get the playing time we hope and expected? Troy Franklin was a 4th round pick, and that hit rate in 4th round players, especially in 4th round wide receivers, is not the best. Now, the upside is that he's going with his college quarterback, which is exciting. And Malachi Corley going here with Aaron Rodgers, the yards as the catch king, it's phenomenal. But like, once again, the expectations for every single one of these guys to hit is just not there. So this is the most difficult part when it does come down to thinking about this team. Because in reality, let's look at players only, or starters only. It says you're first, which makes sense because you have a really strong starting lineup with these rookies, but it's still very iffy, right? Ricky Pearsall there. If Ricky Pearsall and Rashee Rice, if Ricky Pearsall is not starting and he's just a guy that gets 2 to 3 targets a week, and Rashee Rice misses the first 4 games, who are you putting there? Like, genuinely, you're putting Troy Franklin and then Malachi Corley, and there's really no upside. There's really no upside, and maybe not until the second half of the season. So, without really understanding what you want to do here, I'm happy to pivot off of these players at the right time in the season and start rebuilding and getting my draft capital back. I want to get 25. I want to get 25 first, since I want 20 25 first picks and 26 first. Gosh, that was just really difficult. I want 25 first round picks and 26 first round picks. I would say this: 27 in parentheses, 27 first are good, but aren't going to help. But just too far. How about that? Just too far. So the 27 first are good, but they're just too far for you to try and then rebuild. Like if you're going to trade all these guys, let's say all these guys, let's say Puka, you can get 327 first. Why? Jamar Chase, 327 first. You want to get them in sooner rather than later, and then not having to wait 3 years to rebuild your team here, the Law Boy. Hopefully that helps, man. I know it's a little bit difficult with a team like this. You do have a lot of people on this team. If I'm not mistaken, this is IDP. I'm opening up freaking Photoshop. That's annoying. No, you did have bench bots and taxis, okay. Let me just close this. No. So hopefully that helps there, the Law Boy. Please use the fancy hotline. Let me know if you have any other questions, if you're here, and if you're not, definitely, you know, we can definitely have more conversations here. Guys, if you want, this is the last team we're going to be reviewing today. If you want to get your Dynasty team reviewed, use the promo code LAND, as you can see here in the chat. Sign up going to the Flock Fantasy website using a promo code LAND. Select the mother flockers here. Make sure you tick skip free trial, because if you don't, then you are going to be waiting for 7 days, and you probably have to wait a whole week until your team gets reviewed. And then if not, then we can get you in right away if you do skip that free trial here. But the next guy we have up is Skills. Skills, let me know if you are with us here as I get this team set up. Thank you so much, the Low Boy. Thank you so much for all the support. Sorry if it wasn't too much of a breakdown. It's not too much to break down in a team like that when we don't have but we don't have draft picks and so on and so forth. All right, the next one is Skills here. Pack. All right, Dynasty team reviews. He says 12 team SuperFlex Dynasty League. Rebuilding team, wasn't sure what was the best plan. Like the rookies I received this year's draft and excellent for 2025. Let me know if there's anything else you need. That's about it. It says 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, tight end, flex, and another quarterback. So this is 2 quarterbacks, 2 quarterbacks. Let me just put this in the chat. 2 quarterbacks, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, and a flex. So you can start up to 4 wide receivers, and that is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is a start 9 league here for Skills, and the team is the packed here. And it looks like he's done his rookie draft. At quarterbacks, he has Bryce Young, Jake Browning, Mac Jones, Kyle Trask. So the quarterback room is definitely what's hurting you right now, no question. Bryce Young, who I believe in, could definitely have a breakout. Well, I believe and hope he's going to have a breakout season, but the QB2 is definitely struggling, no doubt about it. At the running back position, Marshawn Lloyd, Tank, Bigsby, Deuce, Vaughn, Frank Gore. Another struggling running back room here, but it looks like you are building for the future, which is exciting. So the running back room, you kind of just have to wait and see. I would say these guys you most likely try and sell in season. You know, I would sell Marshawn Lloyd high in season, no question about it, or to the Josh Jacobs owner if Josh Jacobs does go down. At the wide receiver position, you have Christian Watson, Troy Franklin, Quincy Johnson, Javon Baker, Gabe Davis, Luke McCaffrey, Jaleel McLaughlin, Malik Washington. So you got a lot of rookies here. Jalen Coker, Jamari Thrash here. This wide receiver room, once again, all these guys I'm selling in season high. Everyone is a sell high here, no doubt about it. I think there's only 2 players that I'm keeping on this team. Is Dalton Kincaid and Bryce Young. Everyone else, if you can sell them high at some point in the season, I am doing that right away, Skills, because look at your draft capital here. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 25 first round picks. You still have yours. Let's see who you have. You have Fire, Always, Olive Garden, and Little Caesars. Olive Garden, which is going to be an early first. Fire, hopefully a mid first. Olive, what else? Who else do you have? Little Caesars, he's a top team, so that might be a late first. And you have yours. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's somebody else that I'm missing. Always Bridesmaid on 5. So you can have 2 late first, 2 early first in the middle, which or maybe 3 early first and then 2 late first, which is exciting in 2025. It looks like you have 1, 2, 3 second round picks. I wonder who you gave up for some of these players. I really do. What these trades would have looked like here. And in 2026 already, 1, 2, 3 2026 first round picks. This is exciting. This is an exciting team for the future. This is a rebuild team. And the best thing I can tell you here, Skills, is to wait to sell at the right time. I think everyone is up for grabs. I would even say this. No, I was going to say if Bryce Young is having a good year, I'm happy to sell Bryce Young, but I believe in Bryce Young that I want to keep him. The youth is still there. The weapons around him are going to be growing with him. If this team is only going to get better if I am projecting the way I'm seeing this team leading or going in the future. For Marshawn Lloyd, I'm selling immediately. Can I get a second for Marshawn Lloyd in 2025 to the Josh Jacobs owner? Let's find out who has Josh Jacobs out of curiosity. Let's see. Who has Josh Jacobs here? Josh Jacobs. Okay, he has other depths here, but he has a 26 second. He has a 25 second. He has his 25 second. If he does go down and Ramondre Stevenson is no longer the guy and Aldrich Esme still hasn't, taken the job away from Javonte Williams, which I doubt is going to happen, Marshawn Lloyd is definitely going to be playing a role there. So I'm excited. I'm keeping... Not keeping, but like once again, Quentin Johnson, a lot of people don't believe in him. Sell him high in season. And I'm a Quentin Johnson believer. Same thing with Christian Watson and Troy Franklin. If these guys start to take off, maybe you can keep one of these guys for the long term, but the rest you sell. Ben Sinnott, sell. Luke Musgrave, you sell, because I feel really comfortable with Dalton Kincaid there. I'm really sorry that there's not much more I can do. You guess. Will said Gabe Davis' first double-digit game. 1,000%. 1,000%. All these guys are happy. I'm happy to sell at the right time in season. And what I was going to say there for you, Skills, I'm really sorry that I can't really give you much more. I wish there was more context or more trades that we can do, or maybe more of a direction that you wanted to do, or trade offers that you sent through here. Because the best thing I can tell you right now is to wait in season and sell these guys. Because your future is bright. You have 5, 6, 7, 8 future first round picks in the next 2 years, and you might even get more depending on how these players perform in the future. So I think this is a perfect team in a rebuild scenario. Now, if we were to go to starters only, I'm pretty sure you might be last. Yeah, definitely last here. Don't even have a QB2. So that's definitely tough, but that's okay. And that's what you want, right? You want to have your points for at the lowest possible so you can have that first round pick. I do believe if you continue in this trend, you will have a first round. You will have the 101 in this league unless there's a worse team than you. By the way, this guy is Thanos. 99, the rest is 64. Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Jordan Love, Breece Hall, Christian McCaffrey, Jonathan Taylor, Jonathan Brooks, Chase, Marvin, Puka, Wilson, Brandon Ayuk. I mean, this guy swindled somebody. Who did he swindle? I hope he didn't swindle you. I really hope he didn't. Oh, God. This guy has Justin Jefferson, though. I guarantee you Justin Jefferson is not going to be on this guy's team at the end of the season. Gosh, this is a terrible team. I mean, Nick Chubb, Najee Harris, the only guy you can believe, Justin Jefferson, Terry McLaurin, Jared Goff, Will Levis, Tajay. No running backs here. I mean, it's decent running backs. No wide receivers. Olive Garden, and you have his first, J.J. McCarthy, Deshaun Watson, Travis Etienne, Kyron Williams. Okay. Chris Olave, Tank Dell. No wide receivers in the future. Okay. Hopefully that helps their skills. Start 9, if I'm not mistaken. It says start 9 here, but I think I got to start 12. Or start 10. What's that? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, it's 9. Okay. Thank you so much, skills. We appreciate you guys. I'll leave time and room for 5 questions and 5 questions only. 5 questions and 5 questions only. I'll give you time, starting right now. After Will's question, whoever has a question there, drop it. I doubt we hit our like goal, which is unfortunate. Last time I checked, we had 11, and now we have 20. So we got an extra 9. Can we get another 10? Can we get to 30 likes here? Liam with the first question, 1 out of 5 from Liam. He says the 105 for the 107 and the 207. Biggest question to you is this SuperFlex or 1 quarterback? If this is SuperFlex and you're telling me you're good with quarterback position, maybe you have a Josh Allen, Jared Goff, or maybe you have a Josh Allen and I don't know, a Bryce Young. SuperFlex 12-man league. I think if you're okay with at the quarterback position, I'm happy to trade back. What I would say this. I kind of want a higher second, but maybe that's me being greedy. But I'm okay with this trade just depending on that context of the team, because I think there's a lot of missing question marks around there, right? You know, what's your quarterback room look like? Who's potentially going to be falling? No, I'm on the 107 side. Okay, sorry. So you're getting the one. You're receiving the 107? Sorry, so I'm the 107. If you're receiving the 107, I want to keep the 105. If you had the 105 already, what am I trying? You're receiving the 105, yeah. Sorry, I don't know why it was difficult. Yeah, I'll do that for the 105. Send the 207 for the 105. I'll do that for the 105. 100%. Ethan, what side are you leaning? You lean for Ayuk in the third for likely late 25 first and Roman Wilson. I want Brandon Ayuk. For Isaiah likely in the late 25 first and Roman Wilson, yeah, give me Brandon Ayuk. Every single day. Just a late 25 first and Roman Wilson. Yeah. For likely a late 25 first. Sorry, I think that's probably why you corrected yourself. I'll take Brandon Ayuk every day. Now, no worries, Liam. That's 2 out of 3, or 2 out of 5, excuse me. Next question here. 3 out of 5. Will says, I sold Ridley for a 25 mid-second and a pick that was Ben Sinnott. He was my 4th wide receiver flex and still have 3 other wide receiver options for it. Good, or should I have gotten more? So you basically got, I guess it depends on where was that Ben Sinnott trade, because it really varies. In a 12-man league, Ben Sinnott definitely goes either at the end of the second. We've seen him go as early as the 211 in our community, or we've seen him go as late as like the 305, 306. I would say this is an even trade currently as he is valued in the market. I would say this. It was a 307, okay. I would say this, Calvin Ridley's ceiling is higher than what you just received. And the difficult part with Calvin Ridley is that if he does take off this year, you're going to regret that trade. Now, if you would have told me you traded away Calvin Ridley from the 201 even to the 208, I would even say 209. in the 2024 draft class, I would have said I'll take that every day because of the potential of the player that I could have gotten, right? I mean, that's a huge range of players that you could have gotten in the 2024 class. That could have been Leggett, Pearsall, Penix, Adonai, Keon, Brooks, Benson. I would have taken that every single day. And a lot of people don't want to give up their 24 first or their 24 second. I just would have felt more comfortable there. But him being your fourth wide receiver is not that big of a deal, to be completely honest with you. That's 3 out of 5. Drop any other questions here if you have any. If not, I'll go ahead and call it here, but appreciate each and every one of you. Ethan said, thoughts on Aaron Jones for Galler and Zach Evans? 12-team Superflex, star 10, non-tight end premium. I'll take, if you're in a win now team, need a running back. No, my first gut impression there was that I personally would rather have Dallas Goedert. Aaron Jones, I do believe, is coming to his last legs here in a fantasy perspective. Dallas Goedert, 29 years old. He got a contract extension a couple years ago. Let me see where that contract is at actually for him. I personally would rather have Dallas. That may sound crazy, but yeah, he's on the books until 2026. They do have it out next year, but that's $11 million dead cap. I don't think they will give him out there, so I'll take Dallas. Any chance we get a start-up mock draft soon? 100%. I'm definitely looking into it. I might do one next week, but that just means that something is going to have to be replaced. It's either next week or the week after. All right, we're going to start doing startup mock drafts after our rookie drafts are finished. We have 3 more rookie drafts, which I'm pretty sure we have 2 next week. And then not next week, but the week after is when I'm going to be starting rookie mock drafts here soon, Liam. So it says, yeah, I need a running back and have Ingram already. Okay, I mean, I'm looking for somebody. I mean, look, Aaron Jones is definitely cheap. No question about it. Can I get a Joe Mixon? Can I get a Derrick Henry? You might have to spend a little bit more. I think I'd rather pay the price than having Aaron Jones there. And if you have Dallas Goedert, I don't think that's terrible. I really don't think that's bad. The last question here is Vince. He said traded JSN in the 212 for Swift Benson in the 25 second. Fair deal, or did I fumble deep at wide receiver? Jason in the 212 for Swift Benson in the 25 second, and you're deep at wide receiver. If you're telling me Jason was maybe like your wide receiver 5 or 4 and a start 3 wide receiver, or start 4 and he was your wide receiver 6, I'm okay with the trade. I don't mind it. I do believe a lot of people are selling Jason at the wrong time because of this new offensive coordinator. Ryan Grubb can definitely take over, but getting Trey Benson here, I do believe is I personally believe is an even trade, but you also get a 25 second. I think that just puts it over the top for me, which is great there. So I don't mind that trade for you there. But guys, that is it. Appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for the love and the support. I will see you next week. We have some great content coming out. Once again, 2024 players are going to be breaking out, and rookies, 2 rookies that you should be avoiding, 2 specific rookies that you should be avoiding in your rookie drafts here. But appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week, Sunday night, back again grading your dynasty teams. All love.